What up, guys? How you guys doing today? I made a pretty big vlog yesterday. It was 15 minutes long, and I got a lot of good responses to it, so I was pretty happy. I think it turned out well. It is 3:15 in the morning, and I think I got home about an hour ago, a little under an hour ago. I made dinner, so I might be pausing every now and then to take a bite. Did dishes, and now I'm just finally sitting down, and what I'm going to talk about kind of ties in with yesterday, but I follow this website called nofilmschool.com, and it's a really good resource for filmmakers, that didn't go to film school, just stuff like that. Bringing these resources together, learning, and that brings me to my point that I made yesterday is that, anyone can learn anything, in my opinion. With enough time, dedication, focus, and just energy, you can literally cover most things in life, whether it be not just filmmaking or visual effects, but like English, math, any study. If you put enough focus, you can become really good at it. That's how skills are acquired. Granted, some people are going to be more talented than others at certain things. And that's just how their brains work, and they happen to coincide with what they're interested in. And that's how talented people, become good at what they do. However, that doesn't really matter because, in my opinion, that is just a mushroom on the go-kart of life, Mario go-kart of life. Just a bit of a speed boost, but you can still get to that. You can still get to first place with, skill. I'm starting to rant here. I'm trying to keep this focused. My point is that I read this vlog, or rather this blog, not vlog. What are the latest and greatest tools filmmakers need to have right now? And it's an interview with the editor of No Film School, Ryan Koo. And I will admit, I've only watched the first 30 seconds. However, it brought up something that I've thought about, and it's like, he says, or rather, something that I've thought about from this website in general is that it's not really aimed at people who do special effects at all, or visual effects, I should clarify. It's aimed at people who have cameras, who have a story to tell, and they do it. And that is fantastic. However, I personally advocate having at least some visual effects skills built up because, as you guys know, you've seen my videos, I tend to have flashy effects. However, a lot of the time, tons of effects go into it that you don't notice. They're invisible effects. For instance, today, I spent a good amount of time working on this shot where I needed to have, there's two guys running, but I needed to have only one guy in the shot because I separated the two shots, one shot earlier, the other shot later, so it's like the first guy is running earlier in the sequence, and the other guy is running later in the sequence, even though it's from the same clip, and they're both running at the same time. That is something I couldn't have done without some visual effects knowledge. It's not something you're ever going to notice. I mean, if you go frame by frame, you might see some of my editing scars, but that's not my point. This is something I couldn't have reshot without tremendous effort and sacrifices on my part and others participating. But with that knowledge, I was able to do this. And I think that's really critical in making short films, making videos, is having some After Effects knowledge to be able to make these sort of subliminal and invisible edits. Because you hear a lot of the time like, oh, visual effects are so, what's the word for it, like overpraised? Okay, sorry guys, I can't think of the word right now. They're overdone in the industry, and that's true. Hollywood has a bad rap for just pouring tons of money into special effects on movies that have like zero substance, which, whatever. There's a lot to be said for that. Like the most recent Superman, I personally enjoyed it, but I understand a lot of the critics who complained about it. And not one of the things to complain about it is the special effects, because they were awesome, but they were overkill. There's so many special effects in this movie that it gets to a point where you're just like, even someone like me who eats this stuff up, I went back and I saw it a second time. Even for me, it's like, I could have done with that entire sequence. I could have done without it, rather. And, you know, so I feel like visual effects get a bit of a bad rap just in general. But on the flip side, it gets kind of a good rap because no one knows how to do it. So we're like, oh, wow, how do you do that? But there's a bit of a disassociation there because it's like they just assume that, you know, you pour money into this thing and you'll get a product. But I guess it brings back to my point is you can be a good filmmaker. You can have a good story. You can set up good angles, good shots, you know, tell what you want to tell. But having at least some After Effects knowledge, some special effects skill set to be able to go in there and tweak things and fix things in post. They say you shouldn't fix things in post, but because it does add time. If you can fix it in camera, that's great and all, but there's definitely something to be said for fixing it in post because it allows you to do things you couldn't have done otherwise. And that's a big deal a lot of the time. It allows you to realize your vision, even if it's a simple vision. So, yeah, I guess I'm advocating about visual effects, so it's like preaching to the choir, I guess, for a lot of you guys. So, yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? I do read all of the comments, and that's why I enjoy doing these vlogs, is because you guys comment on them, and I read them, and I respond to them I respond to most of them. Some of them I don't. So I've gotten to know a lot of you guys who post by your username and photo, and I've checked out some of your guys' videos, just like, oh, you've commented a couple times. What have you made? Oh, nice. That's pretty sweet. Like Jordan Fountain, I don't know if I'm saying your last name correctly. Fountain, maybe? I think it's cool if you say Fontaine, because it's like Prefontaine, the Canadian runner. Anyway, you have a pretty sweet set of videos, and gosh, I'm blanking on a few other of you guys' names too. I've watched your videos just because it's like, I've got a minute to kill, let's check them out. Wow, people are getting good these days. So, yeah, I guess shout out to Jordan. Hey. Yeah, I mean, all right, 7.5 minute video. I'll tie it up for tonight, mainly because I want to eat my dinner that I just cooked up. But yeah, I'm trying to say that I enjoy making these videos because of the feedback from you guys. It's like, you know, I'm getting to hang out with you guys to a certain extent. I'm talking with you, and you respond, and I continue to talk. Because, you know, obviously these videos aren't getting views. If I was to put a video up on my main channel, I would expect, or at least hope for, a lot of views. Especially now, with my Harry Potter video, I'm hoping for a couple million. Which I don't want to put that on record in case I get less and then be disappointed. But, I mean, putting this much work into something like this, at this sort of level, I'm hoping for that kind of, you know, return. But, right, so my point is that these videos are only getting a couple hundred views at most, which is a lot. For something where I'm literally just talking to a camera, having a couple hundred people, you know, watch that stuff is crazy. And so, you know, the more of you who comment, the better, because I'll talk back to you guys. It's like a dialogue, you know, you and me. So, yeah. I guess that's all for now. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Leave comments about, like, suggestions for stuff to talk about, because whenever I sit down and I hit record, it's like, I don't know what to talk about. And I've lately started, you know, spending a few minutes just kind of figuring out, nailing down, all right, what should I talk about? But I still end up just kind of ranting anyway, so. Yeah, all right. Wow, okay, 9-minute video already. Sorry. I'm just going to go. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.